Hi, everyone, and welcome to Autism Hope Library. I am so excited about our next topic and our next speaker. I know a lot of you guys have been hearing about hemp and what does that do and how does it help our kiddos? Well, today we're going to talk about, let's talk the basics of 101 Hemp. I have the founder of 101 Hemp with us today. Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey everybody, how we doing? Can you see me all right?
Well, I can see you just fine. So hopefully the rest of everyone watching can see you as well. I am just so jazzed to talk about this subject. I think that, so many people are a little confused about hemp. I remember when my son first got diagnosed, I kind of remember hemp in cereal. I remember hemp in clothing. And then suddenly everyone started talking about it as something you could potentially use for our kiddos. I know a lot of people out there, though, are very confused on what hemp is. Is it different from CBD? Let's talk about that.
Well, so hemp is a name of cannabis. And so cannabis was what the plant is technically called. So whether we're talking about hemp, there's a couple different types of cannabis. One of them is called sativa, and one of them is called indica. And so basically hemp is a variety of cannabis that has less than 0.3 THC. And therefore, it is basically a food or a fiber that we've been using for 8,000 years for medicine and even longer for rope and clothing, shelter, and things of that nature. So hemp is just a kind of a nickname for the cannabis variety that's used for industrial things. So there's also things called industrial hemp. The original Mayflower brought the seeds over here, and we had some Spanish that came over here in the early 1600s that brought it over. And the sails, the first flag that was ever made in our country was made of hemp. The first draft of the Constitution was made of hemp. So it's been George Washington grew hemp. It's been a big part of the fabric of our country. There's been some confusion, obviously, over the last 80 years, confusing with that M word. But hemp is really a backbone of American. It's the original cash crop, and Jack Herrera, who's one of the original pioneers and advocates of hemp, had a really great quote. He said that hemp may not save the world, but it's the only thing that can. And there's just so much we can use. We can make hempcrete out of it now. We're putting plans together to build a house out of hempcrete. It's antibacterial, it's antifungal, fire retardant. So the houses, we're out here in California, you worry about those kinds of things with fires. Since it's antifungal, you don't have to worry about mold. It's just an amazing product. And it's exciting to be a part of this hemp revolution. I call it us the hempsters. And it's exciting. And then of course, there's right now the big topic is CBD. And, I'm sure we can talk a lot more about that, but that's helped out a lot of people. The top 3 reasons people use it is for pain, anxiety and stress is number 2, and sleep is number 3. And then how we got started with our son, and it was an amazing discovery for us. And I know with your son as well, with the raw version of CBD that comes from the hemp plant. So it's been really exciting to kind of pay it forward. We've had such amazing results with our son, and I know you have with yours. And it's just, it's an amazing plant, so much that it can do for us. I call it the green buffalo. If I ever had an Indian name, Native American name, I would be called the green buffalo, because I would ask to be called the green buffalo, because in paying tribute to this amazing plant, because we can use every part of it in so many different ways. And we're just kind of getting started. So I can't wait to see where it goes in the future.
So basically, for those that are watching, hemp and CBD, well, CBD is hemp because everything that we're talking about basically derives from hemp, correct?
Absolutely. So hemp, the CBD comes from hemp. Again, it's that strain of cannabis that has very teeny little, hardly any, less than 0.3% THC. And that's where CBD comes from. So you take the hemp plant after you've grown it and harvested it, the flowers come out, and they have these little sticky trichomes to show us all the goodness and love the plant's teaching us. And our bodies are set up to receive that, those cannabinoids. And the one that's very popular is CBD. And you take that plant, and what we do is we take the plant, we harvest it, we actually pick it live and harvest it while it's still fresh, like you would a fresh flower, because it is a fresh flower. And then we use a simple cold extraction methods that keep the flower just like you would with lavender or sunflower seeds. And by keeping that, you lock all of the parts of the plant together, keeping them together. There's 500 parts of the plant. There's these things called terpenes that have this wonderful smell. Those are therapeutic. I mean, we have like lavenders and things like that. Then there's these things called flavonoids. There's a flavonoid, not to get too geeky, but there's a lot going on in this plant that helps with pain, inflammation, and essentially helping our body heal itself, which is called homeostasis. And so these, just like eating well, CBDs in broccoli and kale, cannabinoids are in breast milk. It's a natural supplement that just seems to be able to help so many people for so many different reasons.
So you've talked about cold extraction. So for those watching, a lot of people, this is brand new. Can you give us just a quick little summary of what the heck does cold extraction mean?
Sure. So, I mean, real simply put, like I said, so cold extraction would be if you went out in your backyard and picked an orange and you squeezed it, that orange, and that juice comes out, that's cold extraction. You're not heating it up. You're not processing it. You're not manipulating it. You're not pulling just the vitamin C out of the orange. Some companies in the industry do that. And that's more of a pharmaceutical model, right? So pharmaceutical models like to have very specific things for very specific milligrams. Well, this plant has 500 different things going on, and it works so well together when you keep them all together like a big symphony. So cold extraction is just keep things simple. We don't want to heat anything. We don't want to burn anything off. We always say with the cannabis plant, and if you want to get high, you want to go find the high THC strain of this cannabis plant, and then you need to heat it. If you want to get high, heat it. If you want to get healthy, eat it. And so basically we're creating this cannabis juice essentially that is a nourishment for our bodies, and what our bodies have is called an endocannabinoid system. And that system is set up to receive CBD amongst other cannabinoids in the plant. And in fact, our body makes CBD naturally. Sometimes as we get older or we've had fatigue or injuries, there's just not, we need a little bit more, especially with inflammation. Inflammation is a big problem in our country and in the world. And CBD helps really incredible with inflammation. And I know that was some of the issues with my son with autism and autoimmune disorders like fibromyalgia, neuropathy, rheumatoid arthritis. A lot of this has to do with just inflammation in the processed foods that we eat. And there's a lot of pollutants and things like that our bodies can only fight for so long. And so, the CBD does an incredible job along with the other cannabinoids and the other parts of the hemp plant that just reduce inflammation. And if we reduce inflammation, a lot of good things, our bodies can really get to that homeostasis point. And because our bodies know what true north is, and they know what that cell knows what it's supposed to do and it's supposed to look like, and so does our bodies and all of those kinds of things. So this plant just helps your body help itself.
And you talked about endocannabinoid system. For those watching, that sounds like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So let's talk a little bit about what the heck is an endocannabinoid system?
Sure. So I know it's a mouthful, endocannabinoid system. And so our bodies, this was discovered in the late 1900s by Dr. Raphael Mechoulam in the 1990s. And essentially, this system, endocannabinoid system, actually is created in our bodies around the third or fourth month in utero. And our bodies are run by this endocannabinoid system. It's like our central nervous system that is set up to receive and create endocannabinoids, cannabinoids like CBD. When our body makes it, it's a really long word called 2-AG. So in the endocannabinoid system, up in our brains, we have these things called CB1 receptors. So these are receptors that are set to receive cannabinoids that either we make. If we make them, it's called 2-AG. If the plant makes them, it's called cannabidiol or CBD. And so for us, you would take like a tincture or dropper under your tongue and hold it there, and sublingually it gets into your blood and it goes up to your brain and it looks for anything, inflammation. Is there anything wrong? Or is there any, and that's why it works so great for people that we've heard and seen with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, because it's neuroregenerative. And same with our son. And if there's some wiring that's just not quite right for whatever reasons, whether it's disease or what have you, it'll help, again, your body to figure out, let's get this thing right as best we can. And so that's what happened with our son. It helped clear the fog. And then those are all the CB1 receptors in the endocannabinoid system. There's another section, but I want to make sure I'm not losing you here, getting anyone too bored with like, geez, this guy's a nerd. But so that's the CB1 receptors up here in the brain. Down in the body and our immune system is called CB2 receptors. And CBD is really powerful. That's where our immune system is. And again, if there's inflammation in the gut or inflammation in your joints or inflammation in your nerves and endings and things like that, it's going to look and reduce that inflammation. It's going to help our bodies, again, find homeostasis and operate the way that it wants to operate. And that's why we've seen such amazing results with, neuropathy, gout, these really painful nerve damage type, sciatica. And it's just helping our body help itself. So that's as best I can do for endocannabinoid to try and keep it short.
I love it. And I think that just, it paints a picture because, you see these words and sometimes you just kind of skip over them because you're like, I know it's important, not sure why it is. So I love that you explained that so beautifully. Now, so many stores right now, you could go to a gas station, you could go to your regular grocery market, and we're seeing, some form of either hemp or CBD. How do we tell what product is good? Are they all created equal?
Well, certainly not. There's different philosophies and business models that are out there. So for us, our business philosophy is paying it forward for what it helped with our son. And there wasn't any raw CBD or what's called CBDA, which is the raw version of CBD. The A stands for acidic, so it's the acidic precursor. So that's what we created to help my son. And so when we did that, and we saw, the story was, real quickly, he was out at a pumpkin patch and having a horrible time, and he was 3 years old, and all the other kids are out playing and having fun. And I had grown some high CBD cannabis. The strain was called Suzy Q, and it was in a little cold extraction tincture. My wife was there with me, and she gave it to him because he was hiding under a bench and tantruming. And then he, 10 minutes later, he's out picking pumpkins, having a good time. Here's what a little tincture looks like right there. So, and all the grandparents and everyone was there, like, oh my God, what was that? What did you give him? And that was when we knew we were onto the road to recovery for him. And so, that is our product. It's raw. It's cold pressed, just like a farmer's market. The best thing you can do, it's, we live in a pretty connected world, obviously, right now. So you can look at reviews. You can take recommendations from friends. The other things that you want to do is make sure that that you can look at what's called a COA, a certificate of analysis, that shows exactly what's in there. So if you look at, our products and whatnot, you'll see a little QR code that's on here that you can just take a little with your phone now. I didn't even know you could do this. It's pretty cool. Is if you just open up the camera on your phone and you point it at a QR code, it automatically takes you to that website. Where I was like, oh, when did they start doing that? I remember you used to have to download the QR app. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Anyway, so you want to hopefully have a QR code on there that you can just take your phone to, and it'll take you to a COA saying this is exactly how much CBD is in this. This is exactly how much CBDA is in this. And you'll know exactly what you're getting. The laws and the regulations and all of that we're in the process of doing it. It's so brand new. So you want to work with reputable companies that are doing all the right things. There's these things called GMP certified, which we are, that just make sure, just like if you're making vitamin C or, ginkgo biloba, you're doing it in a clean facility, and you're, wearing the hair nets and, sanitizing and all the things that you should be doing, that they're doing that. And so, use common sense, in like I said, look online, see what the reviews are. We all live in a world where you just go look in the reviews and make sure they have like at least 100 reviews and see what they have to say. And sometimes you're going to have to just try different products, and depending upon what you're going after. But I think, common sense, rely on your reviews and ask your neighbors what's working for them.
Well, and I think also, I know for me, as I was learning on my journey the last several years with CBD, CBDA, learned about THCA and all these other A, B, C, D, E alphabet letters, right? What I learned was that every strain is not created equally. And so if a family comes to me and says, hey, I've tried it, it didn't work, it may not be that CBD didn't work. It may mean that you have not found the right strain. One of the things, because we've done other interviews in the past, I learned so much from you and your mom. And, I remember we were on a different CBD brand, and I'm sure it's a great brand. I'm sure there's nothing wrong with it. However, we weren't seeing what I had heard about. Like, you hear people like how your son's story. And I thought, gosh, maybe, I don't know, it's kind of taking an edge off, I guess, I'm not quite sure. And so I had jumped in and said, okay, I'm going to try this brand, and poor Justin had to hear emails or see emails for the next 3.5 weeks from me. Because I had so many questions. And, but I could see my son, that sparkle started coming back in his eyes. Now, we're by no means recovered, but we've been on your product, gosh, I don't know, every day's Groundhog Day for me, but I feel like several months now, probably 4, maybe going on 5 months or so. And, seeing him happy, being able to know that there's no, real levels of THC in there. So I don't have to worry about those studies later on, because those studies are still undetermined, for our kids. And so I'm so grateful. Like, I just couldn't believe it, because I just thought, gosh, here I've tried this one, I've tried that one, I've tried this one. I think I've literally tried, gosh, at least 5 or 6. And so to have one that you could actually see. So again, every kiddo is different. I wish we had like the magic chocolate chip cookie recipe for every kid, because it'd be so much easier. But I want to encourage families that are watching, if this is something you want to learn more about, whether it be Justin's brand or another brand, just know that it may not be that woohoo moment, but you have to be able to try it and make sure you're going to that company that is reputable, that is safe, because that's really the key. Now, I know at your company, you guys offer something for autism families that I've actually never seen at any other company. Let's talk about a little bit about that.
Well, again, it's a plant. It's a plant. We're in California, and they legalized hemp. They took it off the Controlled Substance Act, which was ridiculous that it was on there. It was all politically motivated, and industrialists were trying to keep it. The guys who made paper and cotton didn't want it around, and so we decided that. What was the question? Sorry, I was thinking over here.
Yeah, so no, the question was, I know you guys offer something really special to families.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I was going down a road. I'm like, nope, that's not the journey that they want to hear.
That's a different talk.
To pay it forward, it's just a plant, was what I was saying. And so to pay it forward, what the plant did for us, it's a plant you can grow in your backyard like tomatoes. Any family affected by autism, just reach out. Call us, email us, info@101cbd.org. It'll be in the notes, I'm sure. Go to the website, 101cbd.org. It's also 101hemp.org. We're the same company. And just say, hey, I would love to try it. And we'll send you a bottle for free, shipping on us free. If and when it works, then you type in, and I think it's AHA50. Is that right? The promo code?
AHA 50.
AHA, as I've been told now, is how you say AHA now. Not the 80s man. And so AHA 50. In the promo code, you get 50% off for life with autism. And so again, this is our gift to pay it forward. We try to teach people how to grow it in your backyard. If you want to learn, we can get you some seeds. We can get whatever you want to know. We have great recipes. You can make salad dressing out of it. You can literally throw it in your salad and eat it. I do that. Throw it in your protein shake in the morning. I do that as well. It's just an amazing plant. And so it's our, we got what we were after, and our son still takes it every day, twice a day. And he loves it. And he helps me grow and pick the plants, and it's the CBD plant to him. And so it's an amazing plant, and it's our gift to pay it forward and help another family. Cause I know when we were first diagnosed that it was just, a punch to the gut like I've never had. And there wasn't hope, and there was so much fear, and just not knowing how we were going to, what life meant. And so, and obviously all the amazing things you guys have done at AHA, Kristin, and all the work that you've done has been amazing. Just that we can give some people some hope and tell our story, and maybe you have to try some different things that work best. And, we're big into nutrition, and there was the American Medical Journal did a whole case study on us. If you go to American Medical Journal, it's on our website and blog and things like that. It's a case study on shea. And so it's just it's amazing that we can pay it forward and hear the next story of somebody that gets to get that fog lifted for their child.
And I know you guys basically work with families all over the world, not just the United States, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we ship to all 190 countries. Even if the country isn't hip with CBD, we'll send it anyways, because this is medicine and it is just a plant. So yeah, we'll send it anywhere you want around the world. Like I said, the first one's on us, and if and when it works for your family, you want to continue to use it in your natural supplements and in your regimen, then it's half off for life. And any questions you have, my mom is involved in the organization as well. She was a 40-year school psychologist, amongst other things, specializing with special needs and autism. And so we were very lucky and to be able to have her insight and her help with all this. And she will counsel or ask questions or emails of anybody that has any questions about their family for free. So just reach out to us and we'll do anything we can. Again, we got lucky. I got lucky that sometimes they say luck happens when the person's prepared when opportunity strikes. But I did get lucky that the universe aligned that we were able to, solve this issue, that, problem or diagnosis. And, we want to be able to share our story and help other people any way we can possible.
Well, and I think that's so important for everybody that's watching. I mean, this is truly a pay it forward company. Your story is so inspiring, and everything about that I've learned so far about 101 CBD is basically, hey, we want to give you this product. Hey, we want to give you a discount. Like, if it works for you, great. And that's just not the norm in the world that we see today. So, I encourage those that are watching to contact them, ask them questions. Trust me, I've asked like 1,000,001 questions. So you probably can't ask more than I've already asked. And so I'm just so grateful that there's companies like you out there. And again, not saying other companies aren't doing a great job. It just, you have to be able to find the right strain that makes sense for your family and the right company that's going to make sense for your family.
And I think that's interesting that you have that level of insight, because it's true about the strains. And there are different strains that are going to continue to happen and through genetics. So believe it or not, in 2 or 3 years, we're going to be able to grow plants in our backyard that are specific to whatever it is that we're struggling with, or whatever our priorities are for health. So if it's inflammation, if it's pain, if it's anxiety, if it's sleep, if it's Parkinson's, if it's cancer, we're going to continue to do more and more research, which is being published on pubmed.gov. Go into the search box and type CBD and whatever it is you're looking for health. And there's tens of thousands of research, and there's going to be so much more, but we're going to be able to grow plants that are specific to our own health needs. Different strains, different cannabinoids, CBD, CBG, CBC, there's 100 of them plus. Different terpenes that are going to deliver it to our systems. That it's amazing that they're starting to see that the terpenes, the delivery system, that smell of the plant, has so much of a profound impact on the overall feel that we get from the plant. And so, yeah, don't give up on this plant, because there's so much that we don't know about it, and just keep trying different products. And for me, my son was 2.5 when he was diagnosed, and so anything I always tried first. I tried it myself, and he said, okay, I feel it, I see it, taste it, did all my own research, and and anything that you buy from us, just know that it was created for a 3-year-old, and it's still, we don't cut those corners, and we just honor the plant. That's the cold extraction. There's no goofing around, and it's my son takes it every day, twice a day, and so that's the level of integrity, and that's the level of commitment that we make to your families as well.
Well, I know you add different essential type oils, right? Or different. So I know, like, the one I have is I want to say it's passion flower.
Passion flower and the chill, yeah.
And so my son takes something called Chillax because he needs to chill out sometimes. And he takes it more than twice a day. And that's why I wanted to bring that up, because, again, it's not a recipe. There's not one recipe for everybody. And that's something I've learned throughout the years I've learned about CBD, is that it's not like, other medications, for example, you might have something that will say, take this 3 times a day, and everybody pretty much has the same dose. With CBD hemp type products, it's just different. And so you have to figure that out within your own body. And I know for parents out there, sometimes that can be a little overwhelming. I can tell you, like I said, I asked 101 CBD 1,000,001 questions, and they really helped me through that. So I would recommend highly to contact them regarding that. And just know that going into it, it's not like this one size fits all. But I love the fact that, I started reading about different products that have, things like passion flower in it. And I know you have a Boost, you have a Chill X, you have an Alleviate. The Alleviate one, my son was getting headaches. Unbeknownst to me, I was giving him that with the Chill X, and I just noticed that the Alleviate was helping the headaches. And so then I find out later, oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to do. I'm like, well, no wonder it was working. And so I love that. And you guys can go to their website, and there's just so much cool stuff you can read. Before we end though, I also want to talk about some other cool stuff, because okay, we're in this world of hand sanitizers and having to wash our hands, and it's not just the United States. This is the world. We're all going through the same thing right now. Just for people to understand, we're recording this. This is during the coronavirus craziness that's going on right now around the world. So we know. So if you watch this later and it's over, then when we recorded it, and hopefully by then you've learned how to wash your hands. But you guys have a hand sanitizer product as well. Let's dive in a little bit about. It's not just something you can take. I know there's different lotions, and there's, soaps, and there's now hand sanitizers. Let's talk about that.
So here's a little hand sanitizer. This is a little $7 hand sanitizer there. You can see it. And essentially, CBD has been proven to be antiviral. There's been some studies with like Hep C. In fact, there's been superbugs and staph infections at hospitals that have been created by that alcohol version of a hand sanitizer. And so, there's, what did we do before those companies were around 25 years ago, right? Well, vinegar is antiviral. We're fighting a virus here, not a bacteria, not a fungus, fighting a virus. And lemons, antiviral. Soap, hot water, antiviral. The oiliness of the soap encapsulates the germ and washes it off your hands. That's how it works. And so we've always had great topicals, and we've made them primarily for pain, which is the number one reason people use CBD in the world. And then we had another one that was for rejuvenation of the skin. And it helps with liver spots and psoriasis and eczema and things like that. And again, it's just balancing our cells out in our bodies. And so when all of this went down, we already had these little, travel size roll-ons that we were already making. And then we knew that the world needed the hand sanitizers, because you can't find them anywhere right now. Not that I'm looking for alcohol-based ones, but we're like, well, we've got an antiviral product, and all we need to do is make a couple little tweaks to, the label and the formulation, just a touch, to make it even a more antiviral product. And so we did. And it took us about a week or two, and we're up and pumping out around 10,000 of these bad boys a week, and we hope to get up to 100,000 a week as soon as we can. If you go to our website, while we're going on through this, every order gets a free one. We also have, they were normally $27. We're going to make bigger ones. They're getting them down to $7. And there's 100 milligrams of CBD in there. So it's a really, really good deal. Don't be surprised if your hands are really soft and moisturized, because that's what CBD does, along with the other essential oils. There's peppermint in there. There's eucalyptus oil. There's tea tree oil. Lavender oils in there as well. All of those are antiviral. All of those are great essential oils. And so, and wash your hands. Don't touch your face. Take your shoes off when you get home. Be smart as we go through all this together. And those alcohol sanitizers, not terrible. I mean, it's something. It's not bad. I mean, but if you did it if all you did was that, I mean, it's actually getting rid of some of the bacteria that you want on your hands. There's actually good bacteria, and then you're drying your skin out. And so when you have chafed skin or skins, then obviously that's an opportunity for the germs to get in there. But anyways, wash your hands, use antiviral products. You can make your own hand sanitizer. If you're one of those kinds of people, go for it. I've seen a couple of recipes out there, and you can just follow our recipe if you want. The ingredients are on the label. But ours obviously has lots of CBD in it. But Yeah, I mean, it's a new world that we live in. We're coming out with some hemp soaps, some pump soaps, some hand bar soaps, and we're just here to do whatever we can. You know, we never thought we would be making hand sanitizers and soaps, but that's what the world needs right now. Just like a lot of companies are making masks and you know, personal protection equipment. We're all just doing what we can and doing our part. Like I said, we want to meet this moment, and that's what the world needs. And we want to give products that are antiviral and they can help, you know, help us flatten this curve and get through this. And it's going to be a new world that we live in when we get through this, and we're going to be a lot cleaner and probably a lot more grateful for going to the ball games and having that life. And it'll be a new normal, but you know, we're going to need to be very mindful now of these kinds of things that can happen, of how to keep ourselves sanitized and clean, and make sure that we're doing our own research. We post a lot of research on our website, so you can see all the evidence, the science, and behind the antiviral research. They've been doing it for years, especially with even like lavender. You'd be amazed what it does. Even some of the best hospital products are made, the base is citrus. So, but yeah, we're here to help any way we can, and meet this moment, and we're going to come together as a better human race. I look forward, and I've seen a lot of great things, and I think that we're going to respond and just be a more beautiful place to live and a more beautiful humanity. I look forward to seeing that.
Awesome. Well, I am so grateful for your time today, and I'm so excited about your products. And, you know, people that are watching, again, this is worldwide that they ship. So it's not just based out of the US. And the fact that you know, this little bottle for $7, I mean, it's not like you're getting rich off a $7 bottle. You're doing it because you want to make a difference in the world. So, you know, that alone, guys, if that doesn't tell the story, then I don't know what it can, on top of you know, wanting to give a free bottle of CBD to any family with a child with autism. And again, when we see children, you heard me say this all the time on different interviews, it could be a child of any age, 2, 52, 92, it's somebody's child. So if I say kiddo, please don't email me and say, hey, you know, my child's 52 or 32. I really know that. I just always say, you know, a kiddo is anybody's kiddo out there. So, you know, thank you again, Justin. And how do people find you? What's your website? Let's say it one more time.
Simplest way is just www.101cbd.org. Phone number is 805-642-5623. info@101cbd.org. I get that one. And so, yeah, you know, just reach out. Any questions, shoot us an email. We'd love to answer questions, send you a product, and hear your story. And then all we ask in return is, if and when it works for you, to share your story with someone else and give them the same hope that we got from this product and you know, doing the right things.
I love it. Well, thank you again, Justin, for being here. And thank you guys. Remember, don't give up. There's hope out there, and there's great companies out there trying to make a difference to help our families. Remember to pay it forward. Until next time. Bye, guys.